and live.
Live stream. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to a few of you guys and those of you watching the replay. Today is January 27th, 2022, and you are watching the community briefing. My name is Gregory Sneed, and we like to welcome everyone here. Our guest today is Mark Anthony Wilson. And the pause there is Mark Anthony. So and he'll be joining us shortly. My name is Gregory Sneed. My company name is Lifesaver Financial Services. I help clients keep more of the money that they make. I also offer life insurance and long-term care because I believe that when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life. I'll have some information in the chat, and if you'd like to get on a more intimate basis with your money, I'll be happy to introduce the two of you so you can stay with each other longer. How about that? And now, without further delay, it's my pleasure to introduce the queen of our community briefing, Crystal Mitchell.
Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you. Thank you, Greg. You are here tuned in to the community briefing, which is powered and sponsored by Recycling Black Dollars and the BBA. The community briefing was created for the community so we could find out what was going on in our community firsthand by the individuals that are sitting at the tables making decisions about our lives, our businesses, and our community. I want to welcome you all. Thank you so much for coming. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Crystal Mitchell. I'm the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. I also host two other podcasts besides the community briefing and the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. You guys can check us out on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and make sure you go over. Thedora Oye was on our podcast 2 weeks ago, and she was incredible. And if you guys don't know who Thedora is, go on over there. That young lady has done some amazing things in our community, and we are so proud of her. We are usually an hour and 30-minute show, and we actually turned out to be a 2-hour show on that day. So it's an awesome interview. In addition to that, I host another broadcast called The Conversations on the Patio, and that's on Monday at 1 o'clock, and we talk about all things retirement and how to prepare for retirement, how to survive retirement, and how to keep your money, and how not to be that guy when you retire. In addition to that, I am a business coach, and on my own business, I do bookkeeping and accounting. Right now is my super busy season. And so that's who I am. Ms. Rhonda, welcome. So I don't see our guest as of yet.
I just fired off an email to his assistant or someone there in his office.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do, guys. In lieu of him coming on, we're going to do a quick 30 seconds on who you are, since we have that time while we're waiting for our guest. So we're going to start to my right, which is Mr. Erwin Washington. So we're going to do a little RBD introduction, 30-second or less introduction.
All right, I'm Erwin Washington. I'm the co-founder, executive director of Lula Washington Dance Theater. And I was interested in this talk because we are doing a real estate development in Leimert Park on some land that we own there. And we're getting close to groundbreaking. And I wanted to listen in on some of the financing options.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. To the right of him is Mr. Roger Dangerman Tinsley.
How you doing? How you doing? I'm Roger Tinsley, CEO of the Danger Man, a group of companies, and which represents Danger Man, the real life urban superhero.
Thank you. Welcome. And to the right of him is Mr. Palais, who did a switcheroo on me this morning. So he's going to tell us who he is with now.
Good morning, everyone. As named, Richard Palais. I'm the Executive Vice President of Government Relations and External Affairs for National Asian American Coalition. Yes, a brother is working with another minority. Yes, you're right. What I'm doing with them, we do small business lending, we do consumer lending, we do housing services. So we're talking about first-time home buyers, we're talking about counseling for those who are possibly or are facing foreclosure, those who are facing rent eviction. We're here to serve, we're here to help. So I tell everyone we're wraparound services for those who are unreached and not often reached.
And what area do you service?
We service the entire state of California, actually. We're a CDFI and a CDC, so our lending is SBA micro lending, plus we do non-traditional lending up to $200,000 for small businesses.
Thank you.
Okay, Richard, I'm gonna send you a link so you can be on the Business Zone to tell us all about what you're doing. And then we're gonna get you over here as well. But I think we're booked out to March. Deepa? And I may not be pronouncing it for our.
No, it's perfect. It's Deepa Janha. I am honored to be here with you guys today. I am head of asset management for Langdon Park Capital. Langdon Park is a Black-owned real estate, private equity real estate investment management shop that invests in Black and Latino communities, specifically workforce and affordable housing.
Awesome. And to the right of her is Miss Jovita Jenkins.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jovita Jenkins. I'm an executive leadership coach and West Coast hidden figure. I grew up in aerospace, and now I help aspiring women and organizations who want to keep or get a seat at the table in major corporations.
Thank you. And to the right of her is Miss Emma Maxey.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I am Emma Maxey. I am the Outreach and Marketing Specialist with the Small Business Administration. We cover the Los Angeles District Office, Ventura, and Santa Barbara. And I'm here and try to inspire you to get involved with some of the programs we offer, including training with 8A programs, Hub Zone, government contracting opportunities. We have a variety of lending products that we provide. And I'm would love to help you to be ready once the bill is signed by President to get you ready for the contracts that are going to be available. I don't want people to say, oh my God, the contracts are here, but I'm not ready to get them. So please contact me and I'm here to assist you in any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Miss Ardina.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year, still January.
Year.
I'm Ardina Brooks, CEO and founder of Designs by Ardina. I'm a master photographic artist for over 15 years, and I create memorable and legacy art for individuals and businesses who want to capture and preserve your legacy memories by bringing life to your photos through what I call legacy art. So you can continue telling your stories and pass them on from generation to generation.
Awesome. Miss Vivian Bowers, welcome.
Well, hi, everyone. And I think the legacy art is what we need, as we are a legacy business now, servicing downtown Los Angeles and surrounding areas for almost 72 years at Bowers and Sons Cleaners. So that legacy photographer, is it Ardina? Ardina, I'll be interested in talking with you. But I'm tuning in today because there's a lot of opportunities out there, and I want to hear what's going on, not only with financial opportunities, but what's going on in the community. So it's good to be here joining all of you.
Glad to have you. She also has a street. They have a street on a corner on Central Avenue named after them. So that's pretty awesome. She is a legacy business. Next, Mr. Michael Browning. He's getting off of mute. You got to find it.
Sorry about that, folks. I know we're busy. Mike Browning, and I'm involved with the most spectacular volunteer opportunity I've ever been in my entire life. Volunteer with the Black Women Rally for Action in Los Angeles County, who's been on the front lines of the COVID issue since it was deemed a pandemic, and excited to share weekly updates on how we as Black people are faring during the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I believe Michael put some update material in the chat, so you guys can download it there. Next, we have Ms. Bovecki.
Hi, I'm Bianca Vobecki. We're a construction company in LA County. We're this month made us 16 years old, and we also support the construction industry. We provide construction trucking, construction staffing, and construction materials. Nice to be here.
Welcome. And she also sells some amazing KN95 masks. I bought mine. I feel much safer when I go out. So she'll put the information in the chat room if you guys are looking for your KN, if you haven't gotten the ones that you're going to get from the county. Ms. Pastor Rhonda, my partner, my business partner, welcome.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, Miss Crystal.
Hey.
I am Pastor Rhonda, founder of Celebrate Life Cancer Ministry, and I am a business consultant for the Los Angeles Urban League, doing the Youth Entrepreneur Program, which is alive and well right now, still accepting students quickly for high school and middle school students, as well as the one of the adult business coaches.
And we're also accepting applications for our summer biz camp program as well. So go to the same link, and she'll put that in the chat room if you have any young aspiring entrepreneurs. And next to her, Miss Tina Phillips.
Good morning. My name is Tina Phillips. I'm with the Multicultural Community Production Association. We're facilitators for diversity and inclusion with corporate social responsibility and other initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you. And Miss Michelle Moore-Bell. Are you there, Michelle?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm so happy to be here this morning. And I am the founder and president of the Wellness Group. This year, we are having 2 free events to empower women on breast health and breast cancer awareness. It will take place in May during Women's Health Month, and also in October. It will be virtual in May, and we hope to be in person in October. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Glad to have you. Miss B. Hall.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I've taken over the City University, Los Angeles, to restructure it wherein it will become an all-encompassing entity that we need as a people. Most people do not seem to realize the power and influence that a university has. And so I'm looking forward to being able to share what we're doing and getting ready to build with you in mind, because we will need all of you to participate either as instructors or affiliated in some way. Thank you.
Thank you, B. Welcome. Alicia.
Yes, hello, everyone. I'm Alicia Haddock, Vice President and Director of Community Impact at the Housing Fund. We are a CDFI established in 1996 as a private 501c3 organization to finance affordable housing and neighborhood revitalization projects throughout the state of Tennessee. And I am happy to be here in you all's company.
Thank you. We're happy to have you. Jack or Ori?
Ori, good morning. Sorry, I can't be on camera. I am on another call, so I got a phone in each ear.
That's okay.
It's a pleasure to be here. I am a senior community relations consultant and part of the corporate philanthropy team for Wells Fargo here in Los Angeles. We focus on supporting diverse communities in the areas of housing affordability, small business growth, financial health, and environmental sustainability. Mr. Palais, I owe you a call. Please call me or I'll call you. And Crystal, I'd like to talk to you as well, and any others who are interested in hearing more about Wells Fargo's impact in local communities. Richard, I don't know if I have your phone number, but I'm gonna give you mine. I don't have access to chat. It's 213-503-7296. Let's connect. Mr. Washington, you as well. Maybe I can help you out with some of our other lines of business. But Crystal, I'd love to talk to you. I've been talking to Stephen Turner as well about possibly supporting these briefings, which are very important to the community.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. So I'll
Thank you
get
again.
does Stephen have your contact information?
Yes, he does.
All right, I'll get it from him.
Awesome. Thank you.
And next, Ms. Fedora.
Hi, everyone. My name is Theodora Oye. First of all, thank you, Crystal, for remembering our conversation, and thank you for sharing it with everyone. I really, really, really appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. My name is Theodora Oye, and I am the president of Mindful Integration of Construction Services. And so what we do is we help local residents and small businesses participate on these big construction projects that are happening in our region. So we try to eliminate the excuses that they can't find small businesses, women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, and they can't find local residents who want to work on these projects so they can have careers in construction. So, and we educate our folks to understand how lucrative construction careers are. Thank you. Looking forward to this talk.
All righty. So who else? Let's see. I got
Crystal?
Yes.
Just a timeout. I'm in touch with his assistant now, trying to send the link. I was going to kid around and say that he had been abducted by aliens and is on the planet of Saturn, but that's not the case. But stand by, and I'm working on that as we speak.
Okay, we have a few more people we can introduce while he's on his way. Thank you so much, Greg. And Miss Emily Owens. Say hello, tell us who you are, what you do. Oh, she's trying to take herself off mute. Well, while she's getting that done, we'll go to.
There we go.
There
Okay,
you
here
go.
we go. Hi, everybody. Sorry I haven't been around as much. Okay, my name is Emily Owens, and I am in Valencia. I own several businesses. One of the businesses in which I contract with the state of California is called Angel Wings Agency. And what we do, we have a two-tier program that provides services to people with disability. So we're with the North Los Angeles County Regional Center, and I've been with them now for almost 15 years, providing these services. And we have an independent living program and a community day program for the regional center that we work with adults with disability that can range from cerebral palsy to having Down syndrome, can have anything that physical. Really, that's what this regional center works with, people that have a physical disability, and then they can then attach a mental disability from that point too, from that standpoint.
Thank you
but that's
so much.
That's one aspect. Can I tell my other business, the one I love the most?
Okay, real quick.
Okay, the other one I love the most. Okay, I have a company as a nonprofit organization called Spread Your Wings. And what we do, we encourage other people to do exactly that. So we take small businesses and mentor them to spread their wings and to grow themselves to their next level. So
thank you. And
you're welcome.
Moneta?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Monita Williams, and I am the president of Safety Environmental Consulting. We team with major construction sites in ensuring that the employees are working safe. We serve as the liaison between the employees and the employer and OSHA. We do environmental testing and surveying as well.
Thank you so much. Ms. Barbara Wilson.
Good morning. My name is Barbara Wilson, and I'm here auditing the meeting on behalf of the New Frontier Democratic Club. President Mike Davis gave a presentation back in November, and I provided some information at that time. So I'm pleased to be here this morning. Additionally, I work for LA County Office of Education, and I oversee the tobacco prevention programs and health coverage programs for the 80 school districts in LA County.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. And wow, eHub. I'm not even, I know I messed that up, and I'm surely gonna mess up your last name.
Well, let me help you.
All right, thank you.
Ehud pronounced Ehud rhymes with Robin Hood, and mostly rhymes with nothing.
Okay.
I'm a longtime real estate developer and home builder, And for the past 15 years, I've been involved in middle income ownership housing, emphasis on ownership housing, Southern California and around the country. I was introduced to, and I also, to add everything else, I also teach real estate finance at the Price School at USC on adjunct faculty. And I was introduced to a group by Michael Banner, a good friend of mine, who recommended that I tune in, and I have been periodically, and just to learn what you guys are doing. And it's fascinating and illuminating. Thank you.
Wow, I like that, Greg, illuminating. You have an update for it? Is he on his way?
It's a way to get lit, right?
Yeah.
I have an update, but not one. So there was an email mix-up.
Okay.
And that's probably about all I can say publicly.
Okay. All righty. So is he on his way?
I don't have a clue.
Okay. All right. Well, we might have to do a little pivot. We got enough real estate folks in the house that they can entertain us with some information if we have to. Miss Denise Estelle, or actually, is that Denise? Maybe not. Samantha? Okay, so here's what we gonna do because we're waiting for our guy, but we do have real estate people that can give us some updates and some information. I don't know if you guys are ready, but if you are, I'm gonna take a little bit from each one of you. But before we do that, I would like Michael, if you could give us Michael, are you still there? An update on the virus. We're gonna do you first.
Yes, good morning to you all, and I trust that everybody and their families are doing well. The big thing is that we had 56 Black people die in just the last week, which, if this were any other disease, would be cause for, yelling off the top of the roof. Even in the height of AIDS, crack, and all the gang violence, seeing numbers like 56 in 1 week is certainly a crisis. The good news is that we had 3,000 less new cases last week. So cases are starting to go down from the height of 12,000 in 1 week. So the most we've ever had is about 12,000 in 1 week, 12,000 Black people who contracted the disease. And that was all during Omicron. Even with all the other surges that we've had, we've never gotten up to 12,000 in 1 week. We had 12,000 for 2 weeks in a row. And then finally this past week, it went down by 3,000. So cases are starting to go down, but the deaths are a lagging indicator of those high cases. So the death rate might still go up a little bit or stay around the numbers that we're seeing now. And so vaccinations, we had a slight uptick in the number of people who got vaccinations during King Week, which is great. Even though it was a holiday, folks still went out and got vaccinated. We're still the only population under 70% vaccinated. We're a little over 60%, and every other ethnic or racial population is over 70% vaccination rate. So we still have some work to do there. But the good news, again, is that the cases are going down, which ultimately the death rate will go down as well. So still a lot of work to do. Our folks, one of the big things about Omicron is that our folks didn't have access to those N95 masks, which they started to recommend. It's just so much conflicting information out there. How is it that our people find out about? Well, the mask that you have is not really protecting you against Omicron. And so we've been able to work with several of our agencies to get them those K95 masks. And so if folks are interested in getting a shipment from the state, so we found a source from the state who can ship you pallets and cases of the KN95 mask, as well as hand sanitizer, as well as female gloves. The only size they have right now is medium in the gloves. And some goggles, I think they have. It's a whole list of things that they're giving free to folks, agencies, businesses, and nonprofits who can actually get it out into the hands of people. So I'm going to put my email address in the chat. And if you're interested in getting the resource to get the free PPE, just contact me, and Black Women Rally for Action would love to help make sure you get those. Again, the access during Omicron was the issue, that our folks did not have those N95 masks. And so they thought they were being protected. And many folks who had, survived the whole pandemic without ever, contracting disease got it during this one because it was so easily transmissible. And a lot of it had to do with thinking that they were protected by wearing the cloth mask, which turns out that it was not successful. So good news is that the cases are going down, and we pray that folks will wear the mask and that we can get through this Omicron. Thank you, Crystal.
Michael, quick question for you.
Yes.
So my understanding is, there's a lot of counterfeit N95, KN95, and then now I was doing some research trying to find a mask 2 days ago, and there is a K94.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, is that just one off? Is it, what is that? So
exactly. And so still the recommendation is that they're KN95s. KN94 will be better than the cloth. If that's all you can get, it is going to be better than the cloth, but the recommendation is the K95. And then they're still saying, if you're wearing the cloth, that you double it with a K95. So yes, the source from the state still has this huge supply that they're giving out. Like I said, it's free. I think the governor had purchased a PPE company, maybe in China or somewhere, where they're directly coming to the state. And so the governor has made this resource available during Omicron. And so we've been able to get thousands and thousands and thousands of masks out to folks. I've worked with NAACPs, other nonprofits, and businesses. All they need is your EIN number or your nonprofit number, either one, it doesn't matter. And then they'll send out this PPE for free.
Thank you. And can you expand a little bit on what's meant by cloth? Is multi-woven nylon cloth? Is the cloth the
any
surgical?
Cloth. Huh? Yeah. Any cloth is typically the ones that we first started seeing when the pandemic started. Folks were hand making, the ones with that pretty much you can breathe through easier. Anything that's not the surgical mask or the KN95 or KN94 are considered those cloths. The pull-ups, the ones made from kente cloth, all those ones that are more designer are the ones they're talking about that folks typically order or make themselves. But the only ones they're recommending during this part of the virus is KN95, the surgical mask if you double or triple up on those, and KN94 if you double on that as well.
Now the surgical mask appears to be cloth. What kind of material?
No, they're not. They're actually a product that has some type of special ingredient. I can't remember what it was. It's not metal, but some type of formula that stops the actual transmission of the virus from getting through that paper. It's more of a paper base than cloth.
Okay.
And as Dr. May says, do the water test, open it up, pour water in it. If it doesn't come through, then you're safe. If it comes through, then you're not.
But the good thing is the state has them available, even the surgical mask. So if you want a combination of the N95 and the surgical mask, they're willing to send those out. And again, these are absolutely free to give to your staff, to community members that come in and out of your place. If you have business people, clients that come into your office, they forget their mask, here's the mask. We want, our people to take advantage of these free masks. So please feel free to contact me and I'll send you out the contact information for the state, and they fulfill those pretty quickly.
Thank you so much, Michael. So great, Deepa, would you be available can you give us some insight on real estate opportunities and investments? Or I know it's putting you on the spot.
I think my first hypothesis has been proven. I think he was abducted by aliens and he's now on the planet of Saturn.
Okay.
Crystal, before we change the topic, can Michael tell us how we reach him to get these masks?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Irwin. It'll be great if your school and all the young, beautiful students that you come in contact would have access to them. I put my email address in the chat, mikebrowning@alumni.usc.edu. I'll put it in there again, and feel free, please email me, and then I'll forward you the simple form. It's just a one-pager. Put the number of what you want and what you want, sign it, even if it's an electronic signature, and send it to the state. They'll get back with you in 24 hours about the fulfillment, and then they'll talk about shipping them. So pretty quick turnaround.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to share more about LinkedIn Park Capital. So our CEO, Malcolm Johnson, started the company in April of 2021, specifically focused on uplifting Black and Latino communities by providing affordable workforce housing options for families, ideally making between 80% and 120% of area median income. But the caveat and what makes us different is our entire leadership team is all of color. We provide need-based social services. So as you guys have been talking, I've been trying to send LinkedIn connections to you guys as
I got it.
As we are, we currently here in Los Angeles have, we've partnered with the Crenshaw YMCA. We have partnered with the Brotherhood Crusade organization, and we've also partnered with Chrysalis. And under this umbrella, we provide our residents with need-based social services, meaning youth development, mentorship, college prep, financial literacy, workforce training. And also we want to provide access and amplify vendors of color that touch the real estate investment management perspective. And so I am tasked with creating these partnerships with organizations here in Southern California, Northern California, and the DMV area, so DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And so a lot of the companies that you have all spoken about that you own personally and or are affiliated with, I'd love to hear more about what these organizations are and try to determine ways that, as we acquire these various assets in Black and Latino communities, how we can provide our services, your services, to our residents.
Okay, thank you so much.
Can you put your email in the chat?
Yes, I did, and I'll do it one more time, just so it'll be top of mind. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Mr. Ehud, could you give us some insight on opportunities in the real estate world and investment?
I see it.
Unfortunately, the news is not good.
Oh, gosh.
Affordability, and I'm particularly concerned about ownership housing for middle-income families. And unlike the prior speaker, my concern is people who are earning between 100 and 160% of the area median income who are not eligible for tax credits and tax benefits relating to housing. The problems we are having, particularly in Southern California, is the price of housing, which is driven mostly by land costs, is out of sight. And we need to create special structures and financial structures. And the most promising I can think of is working together with faith-based organizations, educational systems, and other institutions who have vacant land or surplus land that they can make available to housing development for ownership housing. The problem is that for ownership housing is that people simply cannot afford the payments. And so I don't have an optimistic outlook on that particular area, but we need to keep working and find solutions for it.
Okay, thank you so much. Michael.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh.
Another real estate
Why
person who has it.
There's usually 3 or 4 Michaels on the call.
That's cold.
I'm sorry, but I know you're ready to talk about your project, right?
Oh no, it's good. Ahood is so happy to hear your voice. So I'm happy to.
It's good to see you as well.
He's still under our Billups too.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I like imitating Robin. I am so sorry. You all said somebody. I'll change my name. It's Michael Anderson. Anyhow, we're doing okay. Some people and Deepa, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've been reading about your organization and what you all are doing, and so forth. Somebody said I should talk to you at the right time, and when the right time comes, I'll be glad to reach out to you. We entered the accelerated equity housing and transit development strategy for Black and Brown communities into the Brookings Institute economic challenge called Valuing Black Communities. And we were the first applicant to that submission. And they just came back and asked us where we are. So where we are is we have the McKinsey and Company to conduct an economic impact assessment. And that is to show what the impact will be on the local market economy, on the Black and Brown communities, the number of jobs it will create, the GDP it will impact. It creates a direct impact, and then it creates a multiplier effect. And it was just what Ahu was talking about, and Deepa, you may not know it, is for that workforce people to get about 500,000 in subsidy or equity from the federal government, where they can get a fourplex, basically giving them a home plus 3 income units. And this other component of it is for existing Black and Brown families, mom's house, to get 100,000 in subsidy, because that takes the land cost out and then convert it to an elegant courtyard housing, typical of what was built in California in the 1920s. Some of these are manufactured, but it's so the kids can come back home to the community, raise the average household income, and also add to the quality of life. And that creates an economic chemistry that grows the average household income throughout the community, especially around the transit stations in Black and Brown communities. But it also produces a tangible result that generates property taxes where the county can afford to purchase bonds to upgrade the infrastructure. So we have this whole chemistry that has to take place in order to grow our communities. And it has to be a series of successful business strategies that nurture the next level of projects. And that includes streetscape projects and other things. So that's where we are. So that's where we are. We're getting ready. We'll find out if we make the short list. The purpose of the Brookings Challenge is they're looking for a national strategy for Black and Brown communities across the nation. The purpose of the McKinsey report is it will speak to the evidence that political leadership needs to show what the benefits are, how the risk is managed, and how much jobs it creates so the federal government can get its money back. We think since the voting rights legislation didn't pass, the Biden administration is under huge pressure to demonstrate the type of project to the Black community. And we think we may have an opportunity for that. So that's where we are. It's a lot more I can tell you, but I'm just looking forward to hearing what the Brookings says in the middle of March. So thank you for asking me. I didn't expect to get called.
Sorry,
on.
Michael, put you on the spot. Can you tell them about your book though?
Oh, well, yes, I will. So I wrote a book called Urban Magic, Vibrant Black and Brown Communities Are Possible. I finished it in July and just sort of wrapped it up. The purpose of the book, it speaks about the accelerated equity housing and transit development in our communities, but it's really my 27-year journey of trying to develop in our communities after the riots, looking at the internal challenges, fear of change, a lack of political leadership being able to focus on making change because they don't have the human or financial resources. And Deepa, particularly for your organization, just on what you said, our strategy involves using capital service, private capital, and professional services to do all the work upfront that government can't do and concentrate in a single effort. And basically, we just make land entitled based on the community's vision for developers to build those components, whatever it is, if it's single family housing, commercial, or retail. And that way you build a TOD like you see at National in Venice, make it happen faster because developers will buy entitled land much faster than coming in, taking a risk and trying to entitle it themselves. So we're basically like a private redevelopment agency, and we're marketing it to be in partnership with the LA County Development Authority. We have various supervisors support for it. It's just how do they come out and get behind us publicly? And that's the purpose of the McKinsey report, is to aid that. So I think that's enough. So that's what the book speaks about. The book speaks about our challenges, our fear of change that happens in the community, and why those things interfere with it. For example, you remember people were against with stadium at first, they were against Mayor Butts giving the farm $18 million. Those voices are quieted now because transformations happen so rapidly. And that's the psychology we have to go through in Black and Brown communities to get us over the hump so that we start growing in a positive way. And our communities look just as beautiful as other communities. There's a lot of other elements in there that include alley beautification projects, jobs for kids, kids working for professional services, working for organizations such as yours in the summertime where they can understand how the money affects making change. So I'll stop there. It's a lot I could say. I could go on forever, but anyway,
And Michael, if you could put your contact information and your book information on where they can buy your book. It's an amazing book, guys. Michael has a long history of creating architectural projects in Los Angeles. And so, yes. And so
I'll go by Robin Billups for right now.
Okay, well, if you can put that in the chat so people can go out and buy your book, because we want that to happen. So thank you guys so much. So let's see, who else do I have? Jack, are you able to give me a little update on real estate opportunities, or are you on your other call?
Hey, Crystal, I'm on the other call. It's not really my area of expertise, being in community relations, but we can certainly bring someone on in the future to speak to that issue.
All right, sounds good to me. Thank you so much. So then we're going to jump over to community. I guess, Miss Emma, you got some updates for us from the SBA? You have to unmute.
Kick it off. Actually, we're just planning our calendar for the year. I just got an email today, though. I am looking for African-American business. The SBA would like to honor that business for Black History Month. And it's so many of them, it's very difficult to choose and pick from. So you have my information. If you have any suggestions, please send it to me via email today, if possible. And when I say that, I don't like for them to limit it to one. We have a lot of businesses that are very impressive, that survived the pandemic and still are holding in there. So anyway, with that said, we are planning our calendar year. All the training that we have, a lot. If you need any assistance, we have our resource partners to assist you. And I can't emphasize enough to continue to reach out to the SBA. These are your tax dollars. You pay for everything we do. Take advantage of it. And again, my information is in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Andre, you had a question or a comment?
Well, I think you called my name, but my name was under, I think, Denise Estelle's name, who's now currently logged in.
Okay.
And I'm using her link. So I'm not Denise Estelle. I'm me.
Oh,
Here we
I
are.
thought you were. I thought the pictures confused me. Would you like to
Yes.
introduce yourself?
Yes.
Our guest didn't make it today, so we're kind of doing an
Yes.
RBD introduction. Tell us all about your expertise so that we can make sure that we're supporting each other and providing
Yes.
the information that we need.
And I'm thoroughly enjoying this, and I'm really amazed by the talent of everyone who shared. This is so impressive, and I'm glad to be a part of this organization. And thank you, Crystal, for all that you and Gregory, you all do to make this happen. My name's Andre Parvenu. I'm a former California State Redistricting Commissioner. So I help to create the boundaries for the legislative districts, the assembly and congressional and senatorial districts. But what my actual job is being a part of the Urban Innovation Group, which is a planning and land use consulting agency located on 54th and Crenshaw, the northwest corner. So I'm right in the neighborhood. What I do is I assist individuals to property owners actually to have a better understanding of what they can do with their lots to get the highest and best use. If they want to maximize the potential of their lots, residential or commercial, I do zoning analysis reports to determine what they can do on their various properties. And this is important because it's my personal way of fighting against or sort of assisting with the rapid gentrification that's occurring in our communities. Of course, individuals can sell and move on and do what they do with their own properties. But before doing so, I think it's important that we take a look at what we have. Some people say, let's stay put, let's take a look at what we have here. It's a reason why people are buying these properties for $1 million now, $500,000, where we just bought it for like maybe 100,000 many years ago. But the short version is, let me get to the point. I assist individuals with building accessory dwelling units or ADUs in their rear yards, side yards, or converting their garages. I also assist individuals with the new legislation that just came out and became effective this year, January 1st, which is SB 9, which has changed the rules drastically throughout the entire state of California because of our housing shortage. a property owner now, if they have a lot at least 2,400 square feet, can split that lot in two and have a duplex on the front lot and a duplex on the rear lot that's split for a total of 4 units if they choose to do so. So it's a game changer, everyone, and it's SB 9. And if you just Google SB 9, you'll see what it's all about and what kind of impact it's going to have on our community if individuals choose to do that. There's some rules and regulations and stipulations involved. I won't take up much time to do this, but this is something that we in a community should certainly be aware of, because it's changed the game of what you can do on your private R1 residential lots. So that's it. That's what I do.
Okay, well, Andre, we actually, you're perfect because our guest didn't make it today, but can you tell us what, so we do have a number of landowners and investors here on the platform today. What is the future? So is that the future, being able to build ADUs on our own private lots, or, but is there a pathway for affording housing here in the state of California, or especially where we live in Southern California?
Well, thank you, Crystal. It's certainly an option that we should have, a property owner should have in their resource toolbox, so to speak. It's certainly an option. ADUs are certainly an option because it gives you much more flexibility for, as we all know, elderly family members coming home, students that don't want to go away to college and pay all of these exorbitant fees for dormant, but it just expands the options of what you can do when you're dealing with multi-generational, cross-generational flexibility in terms of what you can do there at home and pass it on. What SB 9 does is give property owners an option to maximize their space and their development on their residential lots. There's certain stipulations, like a lot can't be like historic, it can't be affordable. You can't tear down a building, for example, and put up duplexes. So the speculators, there's certain stop gates on measures there to keep the speculators from coming in and just rolling into our communities and tearing down buildings and totally destroying the fabric of what we call single family residences and building these humongous structures. It gives the property owner an opportunity to expand. You can't be next to, for example, you can't be next to an adjacent lot. They can't be used as short-term rentals. There's certain stipulations there that are in place. So those in development, those developers that want to simply, like I said, just come into a traditional single family neighborhood, have to deal with the fact that the property has to be owner occupied, at least one of the units. And there's a lot more I wasn't prepared to talk about, but
I know.
Yeah, but I'll just bring it to a close. I guess what I'm saying is that I think we should all be aware that SB 9 is in place. It became effective January 1st of this year. And to keep that on your radar, and please Google SB 9, because it's going to change the face of our community, the looks of our community, and the fabric of our single family residences here in Los Angeles. And most impactful are the residences in South Central. When it comes to us, African-American Black folks, it's going to change the look of what our communities look like. Now, not everyone's going to be able to afford to do this. So it's not going to happen rapidly, but it will occur gradually over time within the next 10 or 15 years. We're going to definitely see some significant changes.
Thank you so much. Vivian, you had a question?
Yes, Andre, this is good information. What size lot did you say the property had to be?
A minimum 2,400 square feet. For example, you can split a 2,400 square foot lot into two 1,200 square foot lots. That's very small. That's the smallest scenario. Another part of this is that the lots have to be sort of reasonably the same in size, like you can have up to maybe a 60-40 split. You can't have one major lot and one smaller lot. The allowable space per unit is 800 feet, which is very small as well. As you know, it cannot be a historic, the lot can't be in a historic or a district or be historic itself. Let's see, you can't, it doesn't allow the demolition or alteration of housing serving moderate, low income or very low income households. So if you have a unit that's rented out to someone who's considered, who's low income, you can't do that. The whole idea is not to displace people that are considered low income. Let's see, no Airbnb type of arrangements are allowed. You can't use the next units for office space or retail space. And really, it doesn't really have an increase. This is what's going to be really interesting. It doesn't require increase in parking. So when you take a single family community, yes, that's going to have some significant impacts. It allows tandem parking and driveways. But to take a single family lot of, let's just say 5,000 square feet, which is standard, pretty much standard in the city of LA, to split it into two and have a duplex in the front and a duplex in the back without parking, well, we all know what's going to happen. That's just, that's just a speak for disasters in terms of parking. So it's something to take a look at. It's something to definitely for us all to take a look at in terms, the developers love this, of course, you know. So if you're in the market of real estate, I mean, you can, I mean, this is definitely a game changer for you. But there are definitely repercussions that we as residents need to take a look at, because right now, as we all know, you can be in Montana, you can be somewhere else, you can be anywhere, and you're looking at Los Angeles because the speculative market here in Los Angeles is one of the hottest in the nation and the sixth most vibrant economy on the planet. So they're looking at they're looking at Crenshaw as well. They're looking at these neighborhoods that we currently, which we would call the last bastion of it's the 8th district, and in terms of where you have single family residences that are occupied by African Americans. So I want us especially to be watchful of what trend is occurring and who's owning what and who's moving in where. And what I say to my friends in Watts and Compton is that we have to determine what a good neighborhood is. We can't let outsiders say, you live in a good neighborhood or you look in a bad neighborhood. Who decides what is a good? They can turn Jordan Downs into Jordan Estates anytime they want to. You just, I mean, money determines all of that. And because of social economic inequities that have been traditional and consistent over generations, we have to be cognitive that of course, in terms of who defines our neighborhood and what quality of life we choose to keep in our neighborhoods. Part of it is on us. And I don't want to go off on a whole tangent here and get on a soapbox, but in terms of keeping our communities clean and maintaining quality of life, in terms of some of the violence and the gang activity and all of that is about, we have to define and take stake on what our community is and find value in it and maintain it, because this is the last bastion that we have, y'all, west of the Mississippi. You know, it's Compton and Inglewood, and especially Inglewood now. We were talking about Inglewood earlier. And Watts are no longer majority African-American communities. Oakland is not that anymore. San Diego off of Imperial Avenue, I'm a state commissioner, so I know all of these communities throughout the entire state, and I've been there. And I'm seeing the trends that are occurring in South Los Angeles, and it's not looking very good for various reasons. So every 10 years, the census comes around and redistricting comes around. It was a fight for 10 years ago. It was a fight this last recently, just a month ago, and it will be another one 10 years from now. So in terms of long-range planning and strategizing what we have left as an African-American community in Los Angeles, it takes a lot more discussion and it takes a lot more preparation and knowing what's happening in terms of trends. And it takes participating, Crystal and Gregory, in community forums like this and briefings like this to always be alert and abreast of what's going on. So thank you all again for having this forum. I sort of
Andre.
rambled, but I just.
Oh, no,
just
that
talked
was
from the top of my
awesome.
head.
That
Thank
was
you.
awesome because of the fact that you're absolutely right. We create our communities. And I think sometimes we feel we just sit and let things happen in our community and we can't fight back, but we can. Our voices are very, very important to the conversations. And if we're not showing up at the city planning meetings, if we're not making our political entities that we have elected and put in office, making them aware that we care about the communities that we live in. Because really think about it, if you sold your home today, you can't stay in LA, right? So where would you go?
That's right.
Right? Where would you go? So that means you have to move to someone else's, to another state, because you can't stay in California at all.
That's right.
So let me just make that clear. Yes.
I listened to Dr. King in one of his speeches about a year before he was assassinated, said that the inner cities with a minority population circled by a white community would lead to social disaster. Very deep. Listen, I got to jump off. One of the beauties of a auto calendar is that my clients can self-select a time, and somebody booked 12 o'clock, so I got to jump.
Okay.
Peace and love, everybody.
All right, we're going to turn it over to Stephen. But yes, that is absolutely correct. So Andre, we're going to have you on, and I'm definitely going to have you on next month if you're available to the Business Zone for Black History Month, because that's a very important conversation that we need to have and have continuously. Stephen.
I'll be more prepared.
Oh, no problem.
Briefly, like to bring up from Vermont Slauson, my brother. Adrian.
Yes, hello, how you doing?
Hey, there
How's
you
it
are.
going?
Pretty good.
Yeah, so
some insight about the comeback program.
Sure. So again, my name is Adrian Valise. I'm with Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation. And I'm sure most of you have heard of the Comeback Check program. We're in the third round. The city launched it in late October. There's been a lot of little glitches here and there with this third round. The entire EWDD website went down. And there were some, issues. I think we're also finding that a lot of people in South LA and other, Council District 8, 9, 15, certain districts, they are reporting that we're not getting a lot of people through, and a lot of our clients also have been applying, and they've been having some issues. I think one of the problems is that we're having is that a lot of our businesses in South LA either don't understand the BTRC renewal process. And what happens is that if they don't have an active BTRC, they're kicked out of the system. So it kind of defeats the purpose, right? Because a lot of our BTRCs aren't registered or aren't renewed, and taxes aren't paid because our businesses are suffering. But at the same time, one of the qualifications to qualify for the comeback checks is that they have to have an active BTRC. So we're actively talking to council offices and EWDD in regard to this matter, because I think that it's just part of the system that is just a small glitch. I worked for the city of LA for over 18 years, and sometimes bureaucracies have systems, and sometimes they're not really thought about from the ground up in our community. So I think that's something that we need to look at. But for right now, the Comeback Checks program launched again, the third round this Monday, and it actually goes through February 7th. So this is a 2-week process before they would launch it, and it was only a 7-day process to actually apply. So this year, this month, our businesses have at least 2 weeks to respond, and they have those 2 weeks to hopefully pay their back taxes to renew their BTRC, so that they can actually qualify. I've also made recommendations to EWDD in regard to how the state has given extensions for renewals for LLCs So the Secretary of State you didn't have to renew your LLC. So I recommended to EWDD as well in the city that if the city would have had the same process where we didn't have to renew our BTRCs, we wouldn't have had this issue either. So I just want to make sure, that you guys know that the Comeback Checks program launched on Monday. They have 2 weeks up until February 7th to submit this. And if I can share my screen, I can kind of show you really quick the process and who qualifies. So
go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So micro enterprises, of course, qualify, but they can't make more than $100,000. A lot of our businesses still qualify if they're, in the first 2 or 3 years, and some of them even qualify even if they're older than that. Businesses with less than 1 million, if you're a small business, and then which is 5 employees or more, and then small to medium businesses with the revenues between 1 million and 5 million in the most recent tax return. The only thing that they really that the initial application, there's 2 steps. The first step is to complete, your eligibility requirements. So basically, you just need to either be a private for-profit, including sole proprietorships. You have to basically sign a document that says you were affected by COVID-19 during the pandemic. That's probably 98% of our businesses. Businesses have to be in the city of Los Angeles. So this gets confusing still for a lot of people because, for instance, I live in San Pedro, California, but 99% of San Pedro is the city of LA. I live in unincorporated San Pedro, which is only about 1 mile square radius, and I don't qualify if I had a small business within this region because I'm unincorporated. So you got to be real careful. One easy way to test is to go to a website. It's called zemas.org. But the easiest way that I teach my small businesses is if you have an Edison bill for power, for electricity, you're in the county. If you have LADWP for water and power, you're in the city. So that's a clear distinction how the city and county are, draw the line between where you live. You can go to Zemas, you can do all these things, but the algorithms and the data put into some of the city systems still have glitches. So the easiest way and most practical is to just look at your power bill. And if it's Edison, you're in the county. And if it's the LADWP for electricity, you're in the city. So that's kind of how that works. Businesses, you have to have been operating since March 1st, 2020. So if you have a start date after March 1st, you wouldn't qualify. But you just got to make sure that you clearly understand what your start date is. So if I filed for a DBA before March 1st, but didn't open a bank account till after March 1st, that's fine, because your business evidentiary is still before March 2020. So we got to be careful with that. Businesses has city business tax certificate in good standing. I think this is where we're kind of having an impediment with our communities. So we got to make sure that we prepare them and make sure that they pay those fees to renew it. Here at Vermont Slaton, we do have some unrestricted funds for our clients if they need to pay those back taxes. So that's something that is a strategy, but we weren't really able to implement that because of the 7-day turnaround. So now that we have 2 weeks, we have a little bit more time. Corporations, limited liability companies, and limited partnerships must have active status with the California Secretary of State. And like I said, the Secretary of State suspended all renewals, so you didn't have to pay that $800 for that LLC, which kept you in good standing. So you were able to apply for that the grant without having to pay that $800. The eligibility requirements. I think one of the main things, all businesses must have tax returns for 2019 or 2020. If you're a sole proprietor, they ask for just your 1040s with your Schedule C. But if you have business taxes and personal taxes, they ask for both. Now they don't need both 19 and 20. You just need either 19 or 20. But you do need both versions of your taxes if you have a business entity and file taxes separately. They want your personal as well. Applicants may only apply for one entity, of course, and then grant funds may only be used for allowable costs incurred on or after March 3rd, 2021. I think the city's justification for this is that there was a lot of relief funds before that expenses could have been covered by PPPs and other grants like the California Relief Grant, and they're making sure that you spend this money on any bills or costs occurred after March 3rd. And then of course it's the regular ineligible business list. I don't think I have to go over this one, but cannabis, the ones that kind of stand out to me that astrology, palm reading, and tarot cards, I don't think that was part of the LA relief grant process, but all the other ones are pretty much ineligible, which is the traditional list you see. I know I don't have a lot of time, but just want to kind of go over that. Nightclubs, of course, individual businesses that sell ammunition, guns, liquor stores, etc. And then this is the process which I kind of explained. You submit a pre-application. You have to have your BTRC number to complete the first application, and it has to be a correct number. If it's one number off or something goes wrong, I think that you might get kicked out. I'm trying to get clarification from CRF USA and EWDD in regard to this. CRF USA is the contractor that the city hired to do this process. And I'm trying to determine where applications go and how they go through the process, and why our communities, for some reason, are still being left out, even though this program was specifically targeting Black and Brown communities in low to moderate income areas. So that's pretty much it. So like I said, the dates are January 24th, 2022 through February 4th. It's actually 7th now, February 7th. Since their system went down, they gave us an extension till the 7th. So you have until February 7th. We do teach workshops 3 every week that go over the process at VSCDC, and I can share those links later. So that's pretty much it.
Adrian, the way they apply? Do they come to Vermont Slaton to get that information, or?
Yeah, so we've been blasting out to our clients. They can go to vscdc.org, or they can just go to our Eventbrite. You can go to Eventbrite and go to our VSCDC Eventbrite, and then it shows all the workshops. But basically, they just they can literally Google "Come Back Check City of LA," and it'll take them straight to the EWDD website. I can share those links in the chat right now. So the way that's supposed to work is that if anybody applies and they select their local business source or organization that they work with, that we're supposed to provide TA for them. The only problem with that is that they didn't really tell us that up front. So when the application rolled out, like for instance, we have a bunch of clients in our back portal and our back office for the process that aren't our clients. And then like PACE and other organizations have our clients. So it's been a kind of a little mess. So we're trying to figure that out. And the TA process that they give us is really a short window. So, but yes, that's how they apply. They go to EWDD, the website, City of Los Angeles. They can Google "Come Back Check City of LA," and it'll come right up. And they can go to our website also, vscdc.org, and they can click on our Eventbrite and calendar, see all the different workshops that we do regarding education and application processes.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate that. I'm going to let Samantha do a quick 30-second introduction. She didn't get to introduce herself earlier, and then we're going to wrap up. Before that, though, thank you so much for those of you that I put on the spot because our guests didn't come out. Andre and Michael and Deepa. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully everyone got some valuable information, even though we didn't have our guests, but we got some very talented, informative people in our community. And that's why we have the community briefing, so that we can know who in our community has that information that we need when we need it. So make sure you guys check the chat, some valuable information in there. Samantha, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself real quick, and then we are going to close out for today, and we will see you next week. But before we do, Stephen will tell Samantha, you go ahead, and then Stephen, you'll tell who's coming next week. Samantha, you're available?
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, hi, I'm Samantha Wall-Layler. My company is Unlimited Fashions, and we're going to be opening a business soon in Compton. I live in Sacramento, and I live in between Sacramento and Las Vegas. So I'm going to be launching a business soon in Compton. And I just wanted to announce my business, Unlimited Fashions. We feature unique designer fashions, and we also do fashion show fundraisers for nonprofit organizations and also for-profit organizations. And on April 30th, we're going to host Women in Business Expo in Sacramento at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And I just wanted to announce it. If anyone is a woman in business, they can be a part of the event as a speaker, or if they want to promote their business or have an exhibit space. And we also would like to have a celebrity guest to host the event. So I'm trying to make some connections with some agents to book a celebrity that's affordable to be a part of the event. And the main focus of the event is to help women in business and to help empower women in business in California and all over the United States. And my phone number is 916-410-1664. Again, Samantha Unlimited Fashions, 916-410-1664. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Samantha. If you put that in the chat room, Stephen. And there's a lot of information in the chat room. Michael Anderson says there's an article on LinkedIn, don't sell your grandmama's house. So with that, Stephen, I'm gonna leave it to you.
Again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. But like today's session, join us next week where we have the state of California's economic landscape from the chief economist from the state of California, Jamal Persay. Will join us next Thursday, 11 o'clock.
All righty. I'm sorry, was that it, Stephen?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for being patient with us, for allowing us to go over time. And we will see you next week. Make sure you go tell a friend about the community briefing and how valuable it is to our community. And with that, you can see the repeat of the show on RBB Recycling Black Dollars Facebook page, and also on YouTube under the Business Zone. Just Google the community briefing and it will pop up. See you guys next week. Have a good one. Be safe. Wear your N95 mask. Go out and get that information. Get your free PPE, and let's be safe and let's get past this thing that we're in. Yes, got my mask too. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.